Afternoon, folks. My name's Carl. Welcome to the channel. I'm going to be working on this 2024 Indian Challenger. They put a new clutch cable in from Mad Monkey Motorworks. Also, Barnett Cables got together and made this mid-adjustable clutch cable, which should be an improved situation from stock because everybody knows they're flimsy, and it looks like mine has a kink. So let's get started. So I'll attach a photo here of all the tools I'm going to use. We've got a 3/8 drive ratchet with a flex head because it's my favorite. 3-inch extension, a 10, a 13 and 15, a 6, 5, and a 4 hex drive, and a couple of metrics, all 16ths adjustable wrenches. I don't think I'll need everything, but that's a good start. Other than that, the first place to start is to pull the 10mm off the bottom of the clutch pivot bolt. Don't lose it. Push the pin. Clutch handle's free. Alright, don't lose the pin because it looks expensive and special. Bottom adjustable nuts. You can break those free. Adjustable wrenches. Or if you've got a lot of time to go digging through your toolbox, get the right size wrench. I'm too lazy. Alright. Take the one nut off the far end. I guess I can shoot some pictures of that. Spread these all apart so you can move the cable appropriately to disengage the cable swedge from the pivot link on the clutch. There you go. This is there. Alright. You can swing the clutch cable here, pull the lever out, slide the swedge out, save your lever. Now that cable will pull all the way in and give us the slack we need. This end, drop out, there, just like that. Take the nut off the end so you can pass it through. So there's the nut, came off the adjustable end of the cable to fix it into the frame of the bike. Save it if you want. Out of here. Slide the cable out of the mount. Now you're free. There's a hidden 8/0 clamp up underneath the house or the fairing here. The 10mm bolt that holds it in. I use the, let's see here, 10mm deep extension on a 3/8 drive flex head ratchet. You can reach your arm down the hole just like this. And right now I'm touching the bolt. Actually, I already loosened it. I'll just pull it the rest of the way out. There you go. 8/0 clamp's free. Cable's free. Loosen your little rubber band here on the handlebar if you still have bolt. Rubber band. Clutch cable comes out of the handlebar housing. Out she comes. Alright, we'll pause the video for now and we'll take a look side by side of these two cables. Motorworks and Barnett consortium clutch cable here. You can see what appears to be a black oxide coating on all the hardware and swedge. You can see the jacketing, like a Teflon jacketing. Runs all the way up nice and snug up against the swedge. Factory cable ends right there. The swedge looks to be pretty normal, but this cable only has 3,000-ish miles on it. This looks like it's zinc plated, possibly black oxide. This cable is brand spanking new, just got manufactured by the folks over at Barnett for Mad Monkey. You can actually see the diameter of the cable itself is thicker of the jacketing, so that should prevent distortion. There's the 8/0 clamp I'll have to transfer over. There's the middle link for adjustability, so you can actually adjust it without having to crawl underneath your motorcycle for the rest of us that have painful knees and backs. You can see here where the 8/0 clamp was is a bit of a wave, almost a kink, but it's not too terrible. It's in pretty good shape considering it's still new. And there's the lubricated barrel end swedge that goes in the handlebar attachment. And you can see this is a really nice finish on the new crimped end, and a brass swedge on the Mad Monkey with the low friction sleeve. It's actually swedged, and then the brass is slipped over, which will probably increase the performance versus having a hard swedged barrel end that can't wiggle, that can't twist or change in any direction. This one, you can see it moves very freely and will help prevent binding and where the cables like to snap. So let's see how it goes in. All right, so starting from the top, we pass the cable down through the large opening by the fairing here. You can see the bolt mount where that 8L clamp actually bolts in with the 10mm bolt right here. Is that focus? Hold on. Oh. There it goes. Now it's in focus. Okay, so down here, 8L clamp bolts there. Here's your adjuster. We haven't got it in position yet. It'll be somewhere around the front of the radiator, I imagine, when it's in position. So going around the front, where it comes down, you poke back through that hole on the side of the radiator shroud, follow down the side of the groove in the radiator next to the fan, underneath the engine mount bolt. And as you see, the end of the cable is here, and all I got to do is sneak it back through its home, right there. So I'll pull some of this cable out and get everything lined up and get the other nut pushed back across the swedge and screwed down onto the threaded section here, and we'll be right back with you. All right, so the swedge end is in the lever assembly, and we're going to push this back into the bar mount, and then we'll fasten the lower end of the cable in place. Had to remove the swedge from the pivot point on the bottom of the clutch so I could actually get enough slack in the cable here to put it in the bar. So let's try that now. Okay, so we're back under the bike. Cable swedged end is in the clutch. You can actually see it's a little bit loose. I did that intentionally. There's where my adjustment is for the lower adjustment. It's just enough where it's loose at the handlebar, because I can make the fine adjustments with the conveniently located middle adjustment. Very nice. Okay, so after running the cable from the handlebar down through the fairing, down around the bottom, attaching the handlebar lever end of the cable first, pressing the swedge in and rotating the cable around, get this placed into the handlebar housing, run your cable down along your handlebar, put your down a little rubber band or a zip tie, whatever you want, back on there. Back in there, you can see where it's run along. The shock 8L clamp down here is tight. We've got perfect access to our adjuster that is now mounted conveniently in front of the radiator shroud, and everything is tight. It's not going anywhere. There's the 8L clamp. So we're going to do the important part here and adjust the clutch. You can see actually that'll probably be fine. Come on, it'll probably be fine, and that it does feel fantastic. And I'll squirt some grease down in there. Even though it's already kind of greasy, it's still clean because the bike's not that old. But I'll check that gap, and it looks like it might actually be in spec. Maybe a little loose, but I'll leave it loose before I let it run tight. All right, we'll check again. All right, so I have made the adjustment on the bottom just to get it within factory spec. I'll attach the photo. Looked it up, it's 0.5 to 1.5 millimeters. Do the conversion if you want the American units. Let's see here. So I've got it set with no tension on it. I gave it a couple squeezes with no tension. The gap here is basically 1.5 millimeters. And if I need to tighten it later, I'll tighten it with the middle adjuster. Okay, so from start to finish, probably 45 minutes, taking breaks and filming my first video. So don't forget to hook the cable first to the handlebar, After you've got it routed in place, attached to the handle, to the clutch lever, put it in place. Make sure you stick the cable where it needs to be. Run everything down. Send your threaded end through the frame mount. And once everything's pinned in place, then you can slip the cable swedge. If you have to, you can actually take pliers or the end of an adjustable wrench and twist the cable, the clutch arm, and get the cable swedge to drop into place. It's a little easier that way. I did discover that. Make the predominant amount of your rough adjustments, I would say, with the bottom adjuster, since you're going to be down there tightening it anyways. Get it close, give it a few squeezes, spring-loaded wise, and then once you let go, the gap between the end of the lever itself and the housing should be 0.5 to 1.5 millimeters. I went ahead and tested it to make sure that the friction zone's where it needs to be, and it feels so good so far. But as things stretch, we'll see. I'll see if I can get a video shot of the actual friction zone and where it is from up top here in just a moment. But other than that, check all your tools, wipe all your handprints off of it, and go ride. We'll see you guys next time.